Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we're going to check out RFK Jr. on the Valuetainment Show, and he says something very interesting about flu shots. And he's citing a study that shows that you're 4.4 times more likely to get a non-flu infection after taking the flu shot because it weakens your immune system. And I 100% believe this because I used to have to get a flu shot when I was taking care of my grandfather who had cancer and was going through chemo and everything. And every time I got the flu shot, I got sick. Like 7 years in a row. 7 out of 7 years, I got the flu shot and got sick right afterwards. And I never get flu before or after, really, because I don't get the flu shot. But during that 7 year period, I had to because I was taking care of him. And I got sick every year from it. So let's check this out and see what the man has to say.
In a million years, I would not take the flu shot. And I'll tell you why, because this is what Cochrane and BMJ have found. People who take the flu shot are protected against that strain of flu. They're 4.4 times more likely to get a non-flu infection. And you might find, and a lot of people do, that they get the flu shot and then they get sick. They're usually not getting the flu. They're getting something that is indistinguishable from the flu because the flu shot gives you something called pathogenic priming. It injures your immune system so that you're more likely to get a non-flu viral upper respiratory infection. In fact, the Pentagon published a story, and you can cite this, it's by Wolfe, Wolfe, in January of this year, in which they said that the flu shot not only primes you for flu, but it primes you for coronavirus. If you get, they gave flu, they had a placebo group and they had a vaccine group because they wanted for military readiness to see if the flu shot was prophylactic against coronavirus. What they found is actually the people who got the flu shot were 36% more likely to get coronavirus. And that's not a lone study. We found 6 other major studies that say the same thing. If you get the flu shot, you're more likely to get coronavirus.
So not only are you 4.4 times more likely to get a non-flu infection, but also 36% more likely to get coronavirus. Pretty interesting. And what I love about RFK Jr. is every time he says some stuff like this, he cites the studies. He tells you where you can find the information. He always does this. And it's always funny because you always have people in the comment section running their mouth and insulting the man and saying derogatory, rude things about him and saying he doesn't know what he's talking about and all this kind of stuff. But he's citing the studies for you. You can go read the studies yourself. But nobody's ever going to do that because those kind of people that run their mouth all the time like that, they're lazy. They're not going to actually look into anything. But not only is this backed up by studies, but it's also backed up by real world experience. Like I said, 7 out of 7 years that I got the flu shot, I got sick afterwards. Now, you don't know whether it's the flu or whether it's some other kind of thing you got unless you go get a test and everything, but I don't ever do that. I don't go to the hospital unless I have to. You just suffer through it. But every single time in my life that I've gotten the flu shot, I have gotten sick. And I do not ordinarily get the flu. I don't ordinarily get sick like that on a yearly basis when I don't get any kind of shots. So, I mean, to me, that my real world experience aligns with what the studies are saying, what RFK Jr. said. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. As always, it's up to you to make up your own mind. I'm very, very happy uh, that we've got RFK Jr. in here. I'm very, very happy that the Maha movement exists. I would consider myself part of that movement. I'm 100% for getting rid of the food dyes and all the other horrible things that they put in your food and finding out what the actual information is on a lot of this medical stuff as well. Doing the real science and basing our guidelines on that, which is what RFK Jr. is doing, which is awesome to me. But like I said, up to you guys to make up your own mind. Everybody has their own opinions. And I'll catch you on the next one. Till I speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye bye.